Now, you have probably heard that leafy greens are healthy, and you have heard correctly. But most people do not understand specifically why they are so important for people over 60 who are trying to reduce belly fat. It comes down to two nutrients that become increasingly critical as we age: magnesium and folate. Let me start with magnesium. Studies consistently show that over 50% of Americans over the age of 60 are not getting adequate magnesium from their diet. And magnesium deficiency is directly linked to insulin resistance. When your cells are low in magnesium, they become less sensitive to insulin's signal, which means your body has to produce more insulin to manage blood glucose. And higher circulating insulin means more fat storage, particularly in the abdominal region. Dark leafy greens are one of the richest dietary sources of magnesium available. Just 2 cups of cooked spinach contains over 150 milligrams of magnesium, nearly 40% of your daily requirement. Folate, also called vitamin B9, plays a different but equally important role. It is essential for DNA methylation and for the regulation of a compound called homocysteine. Elevated homocysteine is strongly associated with cardiovascular inflammation and metabolic dysfunction in older adults. Adequate folate keeps homocysteine levels in check and supports the metabolic pathways that allow your body to efficiently use stored fat for energy. How much do you need? Aim for at least 2 cups of dark leafy greens per day. This can be raw, in a salad or smoothie, or cooked, which concentrates the volume significantly. 2 cups of raw spinach wilts down to about 1/4 cup when cooked, so cooking is actually a very efficient way to get your daily dose. A practical tip I give all my patients: keep a bag of pre-washed baby spinach or baby kale in the refrigerator at all times. Add it to scrambled eggs in the morning. Throw a handful into soup at lunch. Add it to any stir fry at dinner. It is the easiest vegetable habit to build because it requires almost no preparation. The third vegetable category that I want you to prioritize every day is what botanists call the allium family, which includes garlic, onions, leeks, shallots, and chives. Now, you might think of garlic and onions as seasonings, not vegetables, but I want you to start thinking of them as therapeutic foods because the science on this group is remarkable. Allium vegetables contain 2 key compounds: quercetin, found in high concentrations in onions, and allicin, which is produced when you crush or chop garlic. Quercetin is a flavonoid with powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, but what makes it particularly relevant for belly fat is its effect on cortisol. Quercetin has been shown in multiple studies to reduce the activity of enzymes that convert inactive cortisone to active cortisol in fat tissue. This matters because cortisol is one of the primary hormones that drives visceral fat accumulation, especially in people who are dealing with poor sleep, chronic stress, or the hormonal changes of aging. When cortisol activity in abdominal fat tissue is elevated, those fat cells actively pull lipids from the bloodstream and store them in the abdomen. Quercetin helps interrupt that process. Allicin, from garlic, has a different mechanism. It activates receptors in fat cells that promote the breakdown of stored fat into free fatty acids that can be used for energy. Several studies have shown that regular garlic consumption is associated with reduced body fat percentage and lower triglyceride levels. How much do you need? The great news about this category is that you do not need large quantities to get the benefit. 1 to 2 cloves of garlic per day and half a medium onion per day incorporated into your cooking is sufficient. You are already adding these to soups, stews, stir fries, and sauces. The key is to make it consistent and intentional rather than occasional. One important tip: when you crush or chop garlic, let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes before cooking it. This allows the enzyme allinase to fully convert allin into allicin. If you drop the garlic directly into hot oil immediately after chopping, the heat deactivates the enzyme before allicin is produced, and you lose a significant portion of the benefit. So that is the first 3 of the 3-3 vegetable rule. 3 categories: cruciferous vegetables every day, dark leafy greens every day, and allium vegetables, garlic and onions, incorporated into your cooking every single day. Now let's talk about the second three, the 3 rules that determine how effectively these vegetables actually work in your body. Because you can be eating the right vegetables and still be getting far less benefit than you should, simply because of when you eat them, how you cook them, and what you eat them with. Rule number 1 is what I call the timing rule, and it is one of the simplest but most powerful dietary strategies supported by modern nutrition science. Eat your vegetables at the beginning of every meal, before your protein, before your starches, before anything else on the plate. Here is why this works. When you eat dietary fiber, which vegetables are rich in, it does something remarkable in your digestive tract. It forms a viscous, gel-like layer in your stomach and small intestine that physically slows the rate at which other foods are digested and glucose is absorbed into your bloodstream. This means that when you eat your vegetables first and then eat your rice, your bread, your potato, or any other carbohydrate, that carbohydrate is absorbed much more slowly. Your blood glucose rises more gradually. And as a result, your body needs to produce far less insulin to manage that glucose. Why does this matter for belly fat? Because insulin is the primary fat storage hormone. Every time your blood glucose spikes sharply, particularly after a meal, your pancreas releases a surge of insulin to bring it back down. And insulin's job includes telling your fat cells to store energy. High, frequent insulin spikes throughout the day keep your body in fat storage mode. By eating vegetables first, you are essentially putting a buffer system in place that keeps insulin levels lower and more stable throughout the day, which shifts your body toward fat burning rather than fat storage. A study published in Diabetes Care showed that participants who ate vegetables before carbohydrates at every meal had significantly lower post-meal glucose levels, lower insulin responses, and lower levels of a key fat storage hormone called GLP-1 than those who ate the same foods but in a different order. For people over 60, this is particularly important because insulin sensitivity naturally declines with age, and any strategy that reduces insulin demand is directly supporting fat loss. The practical application. At every meal, put your vegetables on your fork first. Start your lunch with a simple green salad before anything else. Begin dinner with a portion of your cruciferous or leafy green vegetables before touching your protein or starch. It takes no additional time, costs nothing, and can meaningfully change your metabolic response to every meal you eat. Rule number 2 is what I call the cooking rule, and this one surprises many of my patients. The way you cook your vegetables dramatically affects the concentration of the phytonutrients that drive fat loss. And the number 1 mistake I see is boiling vegetables in water. When you boil broccoli, spinach, or kale in a pot of water, the water-soluble vitamins and phytonutrients, including sulforaphane, quercetin, and B vitamins like folate, leach out of the vegetable and into the cooking water. Studies have shown that boiling cruciferous vegetables can destroy up to 60 to 70% of the sulforaphane content compared to steaming. That means if you are boiling your broccoli, you are getting less than half the fat-burning phytonutrient benefit that the same amount of broccoli would give you if it were steamed. Here are the cooking methods I recommend, ranked from best to acceptable. Steaming is the gold standard for cruciferous vegetables. Use a steamer basket over an inch of water, bring it to a boil, and steam your broccoli or Brussels sprouts for 3 to 4 minutes only. You want it tender but still bright green and slightly firm. If it turns olive green, it has been steamed too long. Light sautéing is ideal for dark leafy greens. Heat a tablespoon of olive oil in a pan over medium heat, add your spinach, kale, or chard, and cook for just 2 to 3 minutes until wilted. The olive oil actually enhances the absorption of fat-soluble compounds, and we will talk more about that in the next rule. Roasting is an acceptable method for cruciferous vegetables and works well for flavor. Use a moderate temperature of around 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, toss your vegetables with olive oil, and roast until just tender, not until they are soft and darkened. Raw is also excellent for certain vegetables. Raw broccoli and raw onion actually retain their highest phytonutrient content. If you enjoy raw broccoli with a dip or raw onion in a salad, you are getting the maximum therapeutic benefit. The rule to remember: protect the nutrients by keeping the heat gentle and the cooking time short. And never, ever boil your vegetables in water and discard that water down the drain. You are pouring the medicine away. Rule number 3 is what I call the pairing rule. And understanding this rule can double the nutritional value you get from your vegetables without eating any more of them. Always eat your vegetables with a source of healthy fat. Here is the science behind this. Several of the most important therapeutic compounds in vegetables, including beta-carotene, lycopene, vitamin K, vitamin A, and vitamin E, are fat-soluble nutrients. This means they can only be absorbed by your body when fat is present in the same meal. If you eat a beautiful kale salad with a fat-free dressing, you are absorbing a fraction of the vitamins and phytonutrients that kale contains. Without fat, those fat-soluble compounds pass through your digestive system largely unabsorbed. A remarkable study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants who ate a salad with a full fat dressing absorbed 400 to 500% more beta-carotene, lycopene, and lutein than those who ate the same salad with a fat-free dressing. 4 to 5 times more nutrition from the exact same vegetable, simply by adding healthy fat. For people over 60, this is particularly important because fat-soluble vitamins play critical roles in immune function, bone health, cardiovascular protection, and the regulation of inflammatory pathways, all of which impact visceral fat accumulation. The best sources of healthy fat to pair with your vegetables are extra virgin olive oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons as a dressing or for sautéing. This is my first recommendation because olive oil itself contains oleocanthal and oleic acid, which have anti-inflammatory properties that complement the phytonutrients in your vegetables. Avocado. Half an avocado alongside a salad or mixed into vegetables, rich in monounsaturated fats and potassium. A small handful of walnuts, almonds, or pumpkin seeds, sprinkled over greens. These also add omega-3 fatty acids and protein. A small portion of whole egg. The yolk contains fat-soluble vitamins itself and provides the fat needed to absorb those in your vegetables. One additional tip that dramatically improves the bioavailability of your vegetable nutrients: add an acid. A squeeze of fresh lemon juice or a splash of apple cider vinegar over your vegetables changes the pH of your digestive environment and further enhances the absorption of many phytonutrients. It also, as a secondary benefit, has been shown to reduce the glycemic response of the meal. Now, let me share a patient story that brings all 3 rules together. I have a patient, I will call him Robert. He came to see me at 71, dealing with pre-diabetes, elevated triglycerides, and about 35 extra pounds that had accumulated steadily over the previous decade. He had tried several diets, low-fat, low-calorie, without lasting results. We did not overhaul his entire diet overnight. Instead, we made 3 changes using exactly the framework I have just described to you. We identified which vegetables he was eating and replaced them with cruciferous, leafy greens, and allium vegetables. We changed when he ate them, vegetables first at every meal, and we made sure every vegetable dish included a source of healthy fat. 3 months later, Robert had lost 14 pounds. His fasting blood glucose had dropped from the pre-diabetic range back to normal. His triglycerides had decreased by 40 points, and he told me he had not felt this good since his 50s. He did not go on medication. He did not do extreme exercise. He changed what he put on his plate and how he put it there. Now, I want to make this as practical as possible for you, because the best dietary strategy in the world is useless if it is too complicated to implement in your daily life. So let me give you a simple 7-day starter plan based on the 3-3 vegetable rule. Breakfast every day. Add 2 large handfuls of fresh or frozen spinach to your eggs, whether scrambled, an omelet, or poached. 1 clove of minced garlic sautéed into the eggs with a tablespoon of olive oil. This alone gives you your leafy green requirement and your allium for the morning. Drizzle with lemon juice. Lunch every day. Start with a large salad, 2 cups of mixed greens, spinach, or arugula. Add half a red onion sliced thin. Dress with extra virgin olive oil and lemon. Eat the entire salad before touching anything else on your plate. Dinner every day. 1 cup of steamed or roasted cruciferous vegetables as your first course or alongside your protein. Broccoli on Monday and Thursday, Brussels sprouts Tuesday and Friday, cauliflower on Wednesday. On weekends, try a vegetable soup with broccoli, kale, garlic, and onion. This covers all 3 categories in one bowl. Where to shop without breaking the budget. Costco is outstanding for this plan. Their large bags of frozen broccoli florets and frozen spinach are some of the most cost-effective ways to maintain a daily vegetable habit. And here is something many people do not know. Frozen vegetables are not nutritionally inferior to fresh. Most frozen vegetables are blanched and frozen within hours of harvest at peak nutritional content. Studies show that frozen broccoli and frozen spinach retain between 85 and 95% of their phytonutrient content compared to fresh. Walmart and Aldi are also excellent sources for fresh garlic, onions, kale, and cabbage at very affordable prices. You do not need to spend a lot of money to eat this way. 3 things to ADD starting this week. A bag of frozen broccoli in your freezer at all times. Fresh garlic as a kitchen staple. Use it every day. Baby spinach in the refrigerator, the most versatile leafy green. 3 things to reduce starting this week. Bottled salad dressings with added sugars. Read the labels. Iceberg lettuce as your primary salad base. Almost no therapeutic value. Boiling vegetables. Switch to steaming or sautéing. Before I close today, I want to spend a few minutes on the mistakes I see most often, because these are the things that can quietly cancel the benefits you would otherwise get from eating the right vegetables. Mistake number 1, using bottled salad dressings with hidden sugar. Many of my patients switch from iceberg lettuce to spinach and kale, which is the right move, but then dress that salad with a bottled balsamic, honey mustard, or raspberry vinaigrette that contains 6 to 12 grams of added sugar per serving. That added sugar triggers an insulin response that directly counteracts the blood sugar stabilizing effect of the vegetables. Read your labels. Ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, or glucose in a salad dressing should send you back to the shelf. Make your own dressing: olive oil, lemon juice, or apple cider vinegar, a pinch of salt, black pepper, and a small amount of Dijon mustard. It takes 30 seconds and has 0 added sugar. Mistake number 2, boiling broccoli or other cruciferous vegetables. We covered this in the cooking rule, but it bears repeating because it is the single most common mistake I see. Boiling destroys up to 70% of the sulforaphane in broccoli. If you have been boiling your vegetables for years and wondering why you are not getting results, this might be a significant part of the answer. Steam it, roast it, eat it raw, but do not boil it. Mistake number 3, eating vegetables at the end of the meal. Old habits are hard to break. Many people were raised to eat their salad after the main course, particularly in certain regional American food traditions. But eating your vegetables after your protein and carbohydrates means the fiber buffer is no longer effective. Your blood sugar has already spiked and fallen before the fiber has a chance to slow anything down. Vegetables first, every time. Mistake number 4, replacing all 3 vegetable categories with just one. I see this frequently. patients who love broccoli and eat only broccoli every day in every meal. Broccoli is wonderful, but it does not give you the magnesium and folate of dark leafy greens, and it does not give you the quercetin and allicin of garlic and onion. Each of these three categories provides distinct complementary mechanisms for fighting visceral fat. You need all three. Variety is not just about taste, it is about biochemical coverage. I want to close today with something that I hope you will carry with you. The body you have right now, at 60, at 65, at 70, at 75, is not fixed. It is not finished. The science of epigenetics and metabolic flexibility has shown us clearly that the food you eat directly communicates with your genes. The compounds in the vegetables I described today, sulforaphane, quercetin, allicin, magnesium, folate, they do not just nourish you. They send signals at the cellular level that change how your body stores and burns fat. You do not need a prescription for this. You do not need a special supplement. You need 3 vegetable categories and 3 simple rules. Let me give you one final summary. The first 3, what to eat, cruciferous vegetables every day, dark leafy greens every day, allium vegetables, garlic and onion, incorporated into your cooking every day. The second 3, how to eat them. Eat vegetables first before anything else on your plate. Cook them gently, steam or saute, never boil, and always pair them with a healthy fat so your body can absorb every nutrient they contain. That is the 3-3 vegetable rule. Start with one change this week. If you are already eating some of these vegetables, pick one rule and apply it consistently for the next 7 days. Then add another. You do not have to do everything perfectly on day 1. Sustainable change is built one small habit at a time. Before you make any significant changes to your diet, especially if you are managing a chronic condition or taking medications, please speak with your personal physician first. This video is educational, and the science I have shared today is real and well supported, but your individual health situation is unique and deserves individualized guidance. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below with 3 to 3 if you are going to try this rule starting this week. I read every comment, and knowing that you are taking action is what keeps this channel going. And if you found today's video helpful, please share it with someone you know who is over 60 and working to improve their health. One share could change someone's trajectory. Next week, I am going to reveal the specific proteins that work with the 3-3 vegetable rule to accelerate belly fat reduction after 60. Including one protein source that most people in our age group are dramatically under-consuming. I am Dr. William Lee. Thank you for watching Aging Strong Together. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next week.